It was April 3rd in 2015, and I was sitting in a room surrounded by generals and colonels and all of their aides next to the room where my late husband was dying. He was in the military, and we were at the VA in Ann Arbor. And he was really close to it. So they were all trying to verse me on how military pay would kick in and how retirement would kick in and insurance. They knew that his insurance for me had run out 3 days prior. And so we were trying to figure out how I was going to keep my house and financially live. They sent me out of the room with a packet of papers. Try this, try that. I went back to my late husband's room, and I saw him pass away. I was there. I told him he was ready for his last inspection, patted his face, and said goodbye. I could feel the love of God and the power of God when he passed away moving through that room, and I was elated because for most of our marriage he wasn't a Christian. But I went home not knowing if we would keep the house that we had lived in for 20 years, not knowing how I was going to feed myself. But God had seen us through this 2-year battle, and I was confident that he would see me through, and I wasn't going to let go. The pastor came to visit, and he said, "Sharon, I just want you to know that I don't want you paying tithe. I don't want you to pay tithe because you might need it just to keep the house." And I said, "Pastor," I said, $80 is not going to make the difference whether I keep or lose my house. I'm going to pay tithe. A day later, the deacons came to my home, and they said, "Sharon, we're begging you, please don't pay your tithe. Set it aside at least in an account, and then if everything works out, then you can pay your tithe." And I said, "No." I said, "It is a commandment for me and a point of faith for me to pay my tithe." And I said, "It's not going to make the difference between when I keep my house or if I lose my house." And they left. So I went to church and I paid my tithe. 2 Sundays in a row, paying my tithe. And in the mail, I received a letter that Wednesday after the last Sunday, 3 days before my anniversary. And it said, "The insurance company is reconsidering your policy. And the board will meet, and we will look at the situation and decide whether or not we will honor your insurance, even though it is past expiration date." It was just by 3 days, and I prayed, "Lord, if it be your will, if this is the way that you're going to meet my needs, please, let it be." So I called the insurance company, being human, and said, "When do you think that I'll know? Will you call me?" They said, "We won't know. Nobody will know until the board sends it to you in the mail." So I waited and I trusted. And that April 14th, on our anniversary, it came. The check came. They honored the entire policy. I am blessed beyond blessed. because two simple acts of faith. God wants to give. He wants us to live well. All he asks is a little faith.